Hello and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always, here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. This midweek episode, we're going to be going over Is It Worth Playing? And we're going to be looking at yet another of the Blizzard franchise games, and that is Hearthstone. Hearthstone is a bit different compared to all of them, but essentially it's all of the games thrown into one. Mostly World of Warcraft, I would say. Actually, no, it's all World of Warcraft. Is it? I'm trying to think. Yeah. It's all World of Warcraft essentially. What it is a card-based game. So the likes of Gwent from Witcher and stuff like that. And what you do is kind of you just have to beat your opponent. It's a card game. It's a 1v1. There are other modes in it like Battlegrounds and stuff where it's an 8v8 kind of thing and you have to finish as high as you can, and you play like round by round. So you might play the second person and then you might play the third person, fourth person, etc, until people slowly get knocked out, that kind of thing. But essentially Hearthstone, you have loads of different modes. You have the standard mode, and you have sort of the arcade mode, where you can do anything, the wild sort of modes and stuff like that. The whole purpose of it is to mainly... It's a very chilled game. It is a very chilled game, more than anything. And it's quite strategic, more than anything, because it's how you build your deck of cards, essentially. All of the cards can be created. You just have to play the game in order to earn sort of the essence for it, to create the cards, and you can disenchant cards to get essences and stuff like that. But what the whole purpose of it is to just have fun, obviously. It's to outplay your opponent in many different ways, and your deck can essentially help with that. So you might have a deck that, for example, last time I played, there was a spellcaster mage deck, and you don't really have that many minions that you can lay down, but essentially you're throwing out spells left, right, and center, and you're just using a shit ton of like spells to kill the opposition hero. So you have heroes such as Jaina, Uther, Illyria, Windrunner, a couple more, Moradin, Bronzebeard, Garrosh, that kind of thing. All of them represent a different class. You have a mage, obviously, for Jaina. Illyria is a hunter. Garrosh is a warrior, etc. And they have their own hero abilities or class abilities. Warriors, you gain 2 armor. Hunters, you deal 2 damage. Mage, you have a fireball that you can throw, and it will deal 1 damage to whichever target you want it to. So all of the small intricacies add up, and you can build essentially whatever deck you like and mix and match, and really feel how your deck plays into certain classes and or not compositions, but into certain classes. And what you want to the best part about it essentially is being able to outplay your opponent. So there are decks that basically you need massive setup in order to perform as a massive sort of KO. So you just kill them in one shot. Or you go for sort of a slow rot. You go for a face hunter. There's a deck called. Essentially, you're just punching the enemy hero's face as quickly as possible to kill them quickly. If it ever gets to late game, you're basically screwed because you're not prepared for that. There's Antonitus Mage is one that I can remember. So what that is a legendary card called Antonitus, who is a Warcraft character, and essentially you put him down with 4 of these sorcerer apprentices. And what these sorcerer apprentices do is they make the mana of a spell cost 1 less. So Fireball costs 4 mana. So if you have 4 of these apprentices, what you can do is just spam fireballs for no mana. And when you cast a spell, Antonitus gives you a fireball. So what you do is you just spam in fireballs until the guy's dead. And that is all in one turn. You don't have to end your go or anything because all of your fireballs cost 0 mana, so you can just do this infinitely, essentially. Like, there is no rush to it. So there's some decks like that, and it's really cool. It's actually really intriguing, and it's a nice game that you want to be able to pick up and play on the side. I play Battlegrounds, which is quite cool. So essentially, you're thrown into an 8v8, so free for all, and what you're in is Bob's Tavern, it's called. And Bob will offer you a certain number of minions, and you can buy these minions for an amount of gold. And each round that progresses, you can upgrade Bob's Tavern to get higher level mobs. You can sell the mobs that you currently have, or the cards that you have, and then you get 1 gold back. But all of these cards cost 3 gold. You know, you can mix and match and make an army of Murlocs or an army of mechs or anything like that. So it's a real strategic game, which in my opinion is very, very relaxed. It's one of these games that you can hop on for about 30 minutes, like even 10 minutes, and just play one game and be fine. You're more than satisfied with it. You can do that, or you can play for a couple hours if like you're into the meta, essentially, because they bring out expansions. They bring out Scholomance expansion or a Wrath of Lich King expansion. These aren't the names of the expansions, but you kind of get the gist of it. And it has all Warcraft characters. It's got the likes of Lich King, Illidan. It's got absolutely everyone. You know, Maiev. Every Warcraft name that you can think of is probably in Hearthstone. That's the thing. And some of the best lore has actually come from Hearthstone into World of Warcraft. They obviously utilize the World of Warcraft lore, but some lore in World of Warcraft has come from Hearthstone itself, which is really cool. They're sort of branching off and doing their own thing, which, I mean, by all means, if you can make it very good, why wouldn't you give it a go? It's easy to pick up. It's very easy to pick up. It's very much about knowing. It's about doing maths, essentially, because you start off with 1 mana, and then you go up to 2, and it finally ends at 10, and you're both just getting 10 mana, etc. So you're kind of making the most out of your mana while making the most out of your hand at the same time. It's like, okay, if I play this, then he's going to kill that, and then I can press this, and I can do that, etc. I'd say it's quite easy to pick up, but there's so many intricacies that it means that the skill level, or the skill ceiling, I should say, is very high. And that's what makes the games fun, because it's very easy to pick up, but to be a really good player at it, you know, really takes a lot of time. Rating-wise, in terms of the game that I think it is, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's a very chilled game. It's nothing that I'm forced to play. The only downside I can think of is you have to play quite a lot in order to get like good decks, unless you're willing to pay, and that's not really fun. Sorry, I just whacked my little notebook there. But yeah, that's not really fun. So you have to grind it a lot in order to actually be on the same sort of even playing fields as those who can easily just buy the decks and get random cards and all of that stuff. It's one of them weird games where it's like, it's not necessarily going to be my main game, but it's there, and if I'm really sort of in the mood to play nothing else, then fine, I'm more than happy to play this. This is like a very chill game, and I can just sort of lose myself to it while watching something. That's the thing. That's kind of the way that I've dedicated my playing time to Hearthstone in the past. But once again, it is a very decent game, and I definitely wouldn't recommend not giving it a go. I would definitely recommend giving it a try. As it's just part of Warcraft, essentially, at this point, because of the amount of cards that are in there and the lore that's behind it all. But that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening, as always. Please do check out the Patreon, as well as the Twitch and YouTube. Constant stuff happening over there. Would be really appreciated to see you over there. But thank you all very much for listening, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.